Hello and welcome back to Off the Post. In today's episode, I'll be discussing how Manchester City humiliated Arsenal to win the Carabao Cup final. But before that, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very much appreciated, and it goes a long way with me build a small community on my channel. We've recently just hit 297 subscribers. We're only 3 away from getting my main goal, 300. Can we go and smash it? Hopefully we can. And yeah, just want to say a massive thank you for the recent support on our most recent episodes, all the likes and the comments on social media as well. Definitely go unnoticed. But yeah, let's get straight into the episode, shall we? Now, Manchester City beat Arsenal 2-0 to win the Carabao Cup final, and one absolute professional performance from Pep Guardiola's side, okay? It just goes to show the tactical prowess, the tactical differences between the elite managers and probably a level below in like sort of manager status in the likes of Mikel Arteta, okay? For me, Pep Guardiola had the upper hand, and that's what I've seen. You know, Manchester City dominating possession, creating the most chances, scoring the goals. They had that real cutting edge in the final third, didn't they, Manchester City, in this game? And defensively, they were solid enough to keep a clean sheet, to not allow Arsenal to score and get back into the game, if you like. And for me, absolutely amazing scenes, wasn't it? You know, don't get me wrong, there was a few team selections at the start of the game. Don't get me wrong, there was a few team selections before the start of the game for both teams, and I thought, why are both managers doing this? Why are they resting certain players? Why are certain players not playing? Especially in both goalkeeper positions, okay? For me, replacing, Donnarumma with James Trafford was a bit of a weird one, just because, you know, how of a world-class talent Donnarumma is, and, you know, he makes saves in big moments, doesn't he? And the same can be said for David Raya, who was replaced with Kepa Azpilicueta. Hopefully I've said his name, but I've definitely butchered it, so I do apologise. But that was the main difference in the game, wasn't it? The two goalkeepers, because even though James Trafford was replaced with, even though Donnarumma was replaced with James Trafford, he still came in and he was showed the excellence like he's got at his disposal, okay? That one display where he sort of made 3 saves in like 45 seconds, absolutely amazing scenes by the English goalkeeper. And, you know, he definitely does deserve a place in that England squad, doesn't he? For me, I do like him. He's a good player. Maybe that might give him the confidence to maybe start some more games for Man City. Probably not for me. If you know, James Trafford going to Man City at the start of the season was looking like a good bit of business, wasn't it, for Man City? But then obviously they went out and brought Donnarumma because of market opportunities, 25 million. So you can't turn your nose down at that, can you, from a Pep Guardiola Man City point of view? But, you know, James Trafford definitely does deserve to be playing regular first team football in the Premier League, doesn't he? He's definitely does deserve that. So we have to wait and see what happens with that. That might give him the confidence booster to potentially move on somewhere else. But, you know, for me, Kepa Arrizabalaga, probably said that wrong again. It's a massive drop off compared to David Raya, wasn't he? And, you know, for that mistake he made for the first goal, okay, where the ball got crossed into the box from Bernardo Silva on the right hand side, you know, Kepa could have easily caught that ball, couldn't he? But he just literally drops it in the last second, and the ball literally lands straight to Nico O'Reilly, who just heads it home from like 5 yards out, and probably not even that. Honestly, Nico O'Reilly in this game, he absolutely dominated, didn't he? And that's why he scored those 2 goals. Scored a brace in the Carabao Cup final for his side from left back, my yard. Honestly, crazy scenes for the English fullback. Honestly, for me, I've really liked this player this season. Watching him for Man City, I've said it time and time again, he's one of their best players this season. Other than the likes of Haaland, other than Semenyo, other than probably Ryan Churchy, who was actually pretty impressive in this game as well. I don't know. He's probably like 4th or 5th on the list for like best players this season. For Pep Guardiola's side. So from that point of view, you know, putting your team 1-0 in front at such a young age from a full-back position, okay, you know, bursting on into the box, you know, it literally, the defenders couldn't do anything about it. And, you know, there was all sort of watching the ball, weren't they? The Arsenal defenders, they couldn't really get involved. It was too late to react with it almost, and Nico O'Reilly was too fast, and he got his head to the ball. So from that point of view, it was so instinctive from the fullback to sort of get in there and get his head to the ball. And yeah, from that moment where you know, Arsenal made a mistake in the 60th minute, you know, conceding that goal, 4 minutes later, okay, Nico O'Reilly comes down the same end of the pitch and gets the second goal. Honestly, it was pretty much very similar, very comparable to the first goal. Obviously, across from the right hand side, uh, nice little delivery onto Nico O'Reilly's head, and he just heads it home straight past Kepa again in goal. You know, the goalkeeper couldn't really do anything from that point of view, and it was a fantastic delivery from both sides. Okay, obviously Bernardo Silva got the first assist, and then it was Matheus Nunes from the right back position, crossing it in. Nice little delivery as well from him to onto Nico O'Reilly's head, and yeah, scoring a double in this game that is absolutely essential for their season, and you know that's that's probably one of the reasons why they humiliated Arsenal, because you know the fullback scored 2 goals. Not the main striker who scored 20 plus goals this season. Not Semenyo, who's probably been the best Premier League winger in the game at the moment. Not Churchy, not Doku, not Bernardo Silva, left back. So from that point of view, you got to think to yourself, when Arsenal pride themselves on being so defensively strong, so being so robust in defence, and not allowing the opposition to score that many goals, you know, it just goes to show that Man City were absolutely dominant in this game. There were times where Arsenal didn't touch the ball for, like, I want to say at least 5 to 10 minutes, and Man City dominated possession throughout the game. I think they had 63% possession in total, and that just goes to show that the ability of the two sides. Okay, when Man City need to turn up, they get the job done, whereas Arsenal, they just don't have the same composure. They don't have the same nous. They don't have the same, enthusiasm in front of goal. For me, again, it's similar to how they've been playing all season. They were setting up to potentially, sit back, put on the pressure, and potentially go on and try and score a counter attack. There was a few moments in the game, like I said, very early on. They had those 3 chances in the 6th minute. I want to say they probably could have scored, probably should have scored that as well. There was a chance after they went 2-0 down with Calafiore on the left hand side. Nice little free ball to Calafiore on the left hand side of the box. His shot, his half volley sort of just misses, it goes wide, just edge of the box. Okay, so from that point of view, probably should have scored that as well. There was another chance where they did like a half cross, half shot, and it sort of just it was going over James Trafford, but he just ended up hitting on the bar and sort of rolled into Victor Gyökeres, but he gets fouled or something. But he doesn't get fouled, but he sort of drops to the floor, but appealing for a penalty. It wasn't a penalty. It wasn't. He sort of just lost balance and fell over, if you like. So from that point of view, other than those 2 chances, nothing really happened for Arsenal. It just didn't seem like it was Arsenal's game. I think Mikel Arteta almost set them up for failure almost in this game. I think the game plan just didn't work against Man City, holding off, trying to be defensively secure, and trying to break for a counter attack against Man City. When have we seen that working? Don't get me wrong, they haven't been at the best this season, Man City. They are trying to catch Arsenal in the Premier League, and will they go and do that now? Will Arsenal almost capitulate because of this loss? A lot of fans are saying they were going on to win the quadruple this season, but now it looks like they're definitely not going to do that, are they? Maybe a treble, maybe, that could still be on to play, but for me, it just goes to show the levels of Man City, the professionalism, the levels they can get to when the pressure is on. Man City will always outperform Arsenal because of the players they've got, because of the manager they've got, and for me, it just goes to show maybe Arsenal might fall off. That is the big question from now to the end of the season. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree, or are Arsenal too good to not let this Premier League slip, not let this Premier League advantage in points wise, the points tally almost slip, if you like. Stranger things have happened in football. It's definitely not impossible that Man City can get a 5 points, a 7 points, or whatever they need back into the game. Because Arsenal, they have played 1 or 2 more games than Man City, so they do have games in hand, don't they? Man City potentially get back some more points, so it's definitely not over yet, is it? But for me, again, Nico O'Reilly, fantastic player this season. He definitely deserves to be in that England squad now, and potentially starting as well, because for me, what makes the world class players world class is standing out in those massive moments. It's to have those moments, isn't it? And for me, he's probably does deserve to be starting ahead of Lewis Hall, just because with Man City, he's shown that he can hold his own and he can perform in the big moments and get the goals. So maybe we have to wait and see, if he can do that for England in an England shirt. Maybe he can. I think, don't get me wrong, Lewis Hall hasn't really had those moments to step up. He's had a few performances in the Premier League, he's had a few good performances in Champions League, holding up the likes of Lamine Yamal and all these types of players. But still, I think Nico O'Reilly has the upper hand on him at the moment. Anyways, let's end the video with some questions, okay? How do we feel about Manchester City humiliating Arsenal to win the Carabao Cup? How do we feel about Nico O'Reilly scoring a brace? Does he deserve to be that starting left back for England? How do we feel about, Pep Guardiola getting the upper hand on Mikel Arteta? Did Mikel Arteta get his team selection wrong from an Arsenal point of view? Should he have started David Raya? I think that for me that was probably the main issue. Don't get me wrong, Kepa probably has started the majority of these Carabao Cup games, but if it comes down to the final, you want your main players to show up, don't you? And you can't be getting those mistakes. You can't be allowing those mistakes for the first goal. You can't dropping the ball in the box instead of trying to catch it. That is a rookie error that you would see in the lower leagues. Okay, you don't want to see that in the Premier League. A Premier League goalkeeper should be doing way better than that, shouldn't they? But it is what it is. We'll have to, they've got 3 more trophies to fight for, don't they? So yeah, before that, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. It goes a long way helping me build a small community on my channel. We've recently just hit 297 subscribers. I just want to say a massive thank you for that, really. We've got 3 more subscribers to get 300. Hopefully, we can smash it. And yeah, just want to say a massive thank you for the recent support on our most recent episodes, all the likes and the comments on social media. Definitely going to notice. And I really do hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.